Welcome to day 6 of our 14-day challenge on the road ahead. Today's quote is, "Everything starts with a thought. If what you're thinking doesn't bring you joy, shift your perspective." Absolutely everything starts with a thought. Every building you see, the phone you have in your purse, the purse itself, everything starts with a thought. Now, all of the things that I've just mentioned came from a positive thought. Someone had a thought that brought them joy and they pursued it, and then the outcomes were a building, a phone, and a purse. If what you're thinking doesn't bring you joy, then why would you even consider fueling it or fanning the flame? From the weather to the price of gas, we can go down a landslide of negative thoughts. And it's so easy to get caught up in them because they're things that we've been hearing all of our lives. Unfortunately, it's easier to start up a negative conversation with a stranger than it is to start up a positive one, which is a little sad when you come to think of it. So I'm going to invite you just for at least for the next few days or even one day, start paying attention to how many negative thoughts you have or negative conversations that you get pulled into. You may be surprised by how much negativity starts to flow into your life. So, the same way that a thought becomes a thing, a positive thought becomes a thing, like a building, phone, or purse, negative thoughts become things as well. But more often than not, a negative thought creates things like stress, anxiety, or even congestion or any health issue when you come to think of it. So let's come back to a positive thought and see how it becomes something. So, the same way that Steve Jobs followed his thoughts through for the iPhone, a negative thought will send you down a path that will eventually see something come into fruition. A negative thought produces a like energy. A positive thought creates a like energy as well. When it comes to shifting your perspective, it's not always as easy as looking for the positive in an experience. Because sometimes we become so attached to the negative story that's been spun, whether it be by someone else or if it's one that we've been spinning in our own heads. Sometimes what's required is to do something that I like to call a positive distraction. When you're going about your day and suddenly you hear something or perhaps see a post on social media that is negative, and you find yourself in a state of annoyance, frustration, or even anger, the minute you realize that's going on, that's when you're headed down a rabbit hole that you don't need to be. And right then and there is when you need to make the shift. If you're on social media, log out and go do something that makes you feel good. Pick up a book that is inspirational, listen to some music, and of course, dance to said music if you want to. One of the things that I enjoy doing is getting out in nature. Nature holds such a positive vibration because it's so magical in so many ways. The sun shining, a gentle breeze blowing, a few snow flurries, a bird that flies by, or maybe flowers in bloom. Whatever it is, there is something about being outside in nature that helps you connect to the magic that is within you. Today's quote is really about asking yourself what you'd like to create in your life. There's two sides to a swing of a pendulum, right? You have positive on one side, and then as it swings back to the other side, it's negative. So you have positive, then you have negative. And though it sounds pretty simple, it's not always easy. The truth is, it's pretty simple to know that you want to have positive thoughts and outcomes in your life. However, we've all been brought up with some form of negativity in our lives, and it's all been recorded by our subconscious mind. So long before we even knew what was going on, all of this negativity was being planted like seeds. So, yes, you want to be having positive thoughts and positive outcomes. And that part is the simple part. The part that tends to be not so easy is staying so connected to yourself that you have the strength to walk away, change the subject, or be confident enough to say, "That's not the way I see things." Or you're so connected that you don't even notice the negativity because you're so focused on all of the good that surrounds you. Now, that's where I want to be all of the time. How about you? Sure, it's a tall order, but isn't it worth aiming for? When you wake up tomorrow, ask yourself, what kind of day do you want to create for yourself? And remember, everything starts with a thought. And if what you're thinking doesn't bring you joy, shift your perspective. All right, that is it for day 6. Now, here is to having a wonderful and positive day. I'll see you tomorrow.